After 3 days of fighting between Cambodia and Thailand along their borders, the two leaders of the Southeast Asian nations have agreed to meet immediately to quickly work out a ceasefire as claimed by US President Donald Trump. Trump said he had spoken to Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet and Thailand's acting Prime Minister Phumtham Vechayachai and warned them that he would not make trade deals with either if the border conflict continued. Whereas Thailand's acting Prime Minister thanked Donald Trump and said Thailand agrees in principle to have a ceasefire in place but would like to see sincere intention from the Cambodian side. Cambodia's Defence Ministry spokeswoman also called on the international community to condemn Thailand's aggression and to demand that it stop its brazen acts against the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Cambodia continues to call on the international community to join it in condemning Thailand's aggression and to demand that Thailand immediately stop its brazen acts against Cambodia's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Meanwhile, India's Ministry of External Affairs said that India is closely monitoring the situation. The official spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal said that India is closely monitoring the situation along the border between Cambodia and Thailand. Spokesperson added that India has close and friendly relations with both the countries and hopes that both sides will take measures for a cessation of hostilities and prevention of further escalation. Ministry has also released helpline number of the Embassy of Thailand and Cambodia for any assistance. All right, DD India's Akshay Dongre has more information on this. He is joining us live from New Delhi. Akshay, the leaders of Cambodia and Thailand have agreed to meet for the ceasefire. Tell us what's the latest from the ground.
Well, the hostilities are still there as far as the two countries are concerned. There are tensions still on the 817 kilometer of land border between the two countries, and the contested area that has led to this conflict still remains a flashpoint between the two countries. But the situation is more complex than that, and it's also again, like many of the conflicts that are in the global south region, especially stems from its colonial past. So in 1953, we have to go all the way back to understand the border conflict. So in 1953, it was France that was ruling Cambodia, or rather Cambodia was a colony of France till then. So when the land borders were drawn by the French people, they were done similar to what has been done by almost all the colonial powers around the world. Leaving these kind of land borders that are disputed, taking no local inputs as far as drawing these borders are concerned, and then leaving the countries of former colonies to fight amongst each other over the kind of borders and the land that has been divided irrationally by the colonial powers. And that is a point that has been argued when the talks for a ceasefire are coming, because it's not really a fault of either Cambodia or Thailand for this faulty line, but the French colonial powers that had left this kind of a line, which was not for which there was no consultation done at the local level, and the lines were drawn erratically by the then former colonial master of Cambodia. And now we are seeing the implications on the ground. So the death toll has crossed 30 mark. That includes both the civilians and military. Continuous rocket exchanges are taking place between the two countries, but we all know that the military of Thailand is much more advanced than Cambodia in terms of number, in terms of armament, in terms even of allies and geopolitical power, as well as the soft power that it has. So it's never about an equal conflict that's taking place, but the kind of tension that we are seeing is similar to the conflict that started several years back between Ukraine and Russia. So something of that sort. And while there are now indications that a ceasefire talk will continue, but this is a point that we have to remind our viewers that has seen these kind of conflicts time and again since the incorrect borders were drawn. So perhaps a real look has to be taken to that aspect as well. That how exactly the two countries are going to share the border and how they're going to live peacefully together, especially given the fact that contestations remain on the ground.
Akshay, also, how have both Thailand and Cambodia responded to the US involvement? Are they welcoming this external mediation?
Well, yes, in a way, Thailand has accepted. Cambodia also is stating that they would also like to, go ahead with a sort of a ceasefire, because Cambodia, especially given the fact that its military is much smaller than Thailand, has been hoping for a ceasefire for some time now. There is hope that there will be a ceasefire, but it remains to be seen that how it will be implemented and a permanent solution will be found between the two countries.
Very quickly, Akshay, also, what key issues are the leaders likely to focus on to ensure an immediate and lasting halt to the hostilities? And also, what are the next steps if the ceasefire talks are successful?
Well, that's all speculative, Abhishek, so we will not be able to comment on that as of yet. But the situation remains tense, and ceasefire as of now is looking a possible or rather a viable option. But it remains to be seen that how a permanent solution will be found, because that will only depend on the prerogative and the decisions that will be taken by the leadership of the two countries, because there is yet no clarity or no clarification coming in from them that they have found a solution, because everything is speculative right now. So they will have to find a solution to sharing the areas that are contested, at least allowing some sort of arrangement to allow people to cross over and reach those areas, perhaps the temples that are revered, all of that. But as now permanent solution is concerned, there is no response to that from both the countries.
All right, Akshay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for your inputs.